Alright, so today we're going to be using idea drawings to practice using different materials appropriately so that our final artwork looks magnificent. Now when we do idea drawings, it's always a vertical line down the center, a horizontal line across the middle, and then we do our idea drawings. These are my generic landscape idea drawings, but depending on the assignment, maybe you drew something else. So in this landscape though, I see that I am missing my middle ground. So it's really important that I get that in there. So I have my foreground, it's the place in the middle, and I have my background. I have my foreground, it's the place in the front, and I have my background, which is the sky. And I just need to add something. So back here, I'll add some hills. And just like that, I also created some overlap and some sides, because we know this tree is significantly smaller in real life than this hill. So for this one, we're going to use paint. So we're going to use these guys, but the rules are the same for if you're using these guys. So what I'm going to do is so you need to use appropriate brush sizes. Don't use a huge brush like this to paint a small area like this. You'll just mess it up. Use the small brushes for that. And then for big areas like the sky or the ground, totally use these bigger flat brushes. Now when you're using these, it is very important that you mix in your mixing tray, not on here, because these paints are used by everybody, and people tend to not like it when their white gets contaminated. But let's say your palette is super dirty, and it usually only happens to the yellow and the white because they're super light. If they're dirty, just take a nice wet brush and give it a little scrub. Rinse off your brush, and do use clean water for this, and it'll clean it right up. If it's especially dirty, like somebody just like covered this whole thing in black or whatever, it's totally fine to go underneath the sink with the brush and then just scrub them off, and then you'll have nice clean ones. So after you do that, however it is you're painting it, you need to get whatever colors you're using and put them in your palette. Now that means you're getting like a really good amount of pigment in there so that it goes on the paper nicely. That does not mean you're making just a big puddle using water. That's not going to help you at all. Like don't use that. You need the pigment. You need more pigment, less water. The water is for rinsing your brush and getting this stuff activated, but after it's activated, it's just for rinsing your brush off. And how you rinse your brush off is just give it a little rinse such as that, and then you scrape it on the edge. Don't tap it. That gets water on everybody and their things. Don't do that. And don't squeeze it with your fingers. Now you're just getting paint on yourself. Scrape it on the edge. You're good to go. All right, now to start painting. Okay, so when you're painting, you paint just as if you are coloring. You're going to use the appropriate brush size, and you're going to hold it like a pencil. And then you will just draw your fence first, just like usual. And your pigment should be nice and dark. If it's not dark, that means you need to get more paint from your palette, put it in here, and use a lot less water. It should be nice and opaque, as in not see-through. And you can get that in there, and then you can fill it in. Easy peasy. And then you just use that same rule all the way around. So let's get some green. And it's always a good idea to mix your own colors. Don't just use the green off the palette. It's kind of boring. No offense. Make it your own. So I got that all mixed up. And then using my fence again. And making sure it's nice and opaque. So just get more paint. If all your paints start to get kind of dry, it is totally fine to ask someone to go get the water spray bottle and spray it for you. It's just a faster way to get all your paints nice and wet. And then fill it in all nice, like so. Now you'll know you're doing it wrong if it looks, let's get this ridiculously wet. Super watered down, and there's like almost no color. That's how you know you're not using your paint correctly. It should be nice and dark. So less water, more paint. Always draw your fence. I'm gonna And I think I want to lighten that, so add some white to my green. Here we go. It's a much better color. And the whole goal is to just do your best. Stay inside your own lines that you drew. You don't want to mess up your really nice drawing that you did on a big piece of paper. And enjoy yourself. Painting is supposed to be a fun activity, a relaxing activity. A lot of people do it as a hobby or for leisure. So, like, you should be enjoying yourself. Don't stress yourself out. Okay, so that's how you use paint correctly. Okay, now we're going to talk about how to use markers. But in my generic landscape here, I am still missing a middle ground. So this time I'm going to put in some mountains, which adds some more overlap, of course, and size, because we know this tree is way smaller than these mountains. And maybe even to just like up that size difference a little bit. Maybe I put a smaller tree back here. And now I have a pond. So how to use markers. So I'm going to talk about Crayola markers. Sharpies work exactly the same. They just smell absolutely terrible, and their colors aren't as consistent. No offense, Sharpie. Everybody loves you. All right. So how do you use this? First of all, it's very similar to coloring. So you can go in just like you have before and draw your fence around what you are coloring using the tip of your marker, and then you fill it in. But here's where it gets different. In the past, I've just seen you guys that's not very efficient, first of all, because you're using like the smallest part of your marker. And also, what happens is you're going over this over and over and over again, so it makes the markers run out really fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the side of our marker and kind of highlight. And then as I highlight, it fills that space a lot more quickly, and I use a lot less ink, and boy, it looks a lot nicer. So I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see it a little better. All right, so yeah, I'm sorry, I use weird colors. It's just who I am. And I can also use like 2 colors at a time. So I'm going to use like some cross contour lines here, and then maybe I go in with orange using the side of my marker now. And it kind of mixes the colors together. So now we have like a more of a red-orange situation. All right, and then go over to my pond. Still do my fence. I want to stay inside my lines. And then I can make like water marks, like so. And then I have a surprise for you. Then you could take a brush that has clean water, and you can go over it. And this only works with water-based markers like Crayola. This would not work with Sharpie. And then you can fill in the color like that. Isn't that fun? So that's kind of a neat thing to do. But mainly, it's about like breaking your habit of just and making it look really nice. So maybe around this tree, I go more curved highlights, but I'm still highlighting it. And it just looks a lot cleaner. It uses a lot less ink. And it's just more relaxing even, I would say. So, and then maybe for this trunk, I do something a little different. And I have all my lines go in this direction to give more of like a bark feel. And then the water technique is also great if you happen to run into a marker that's kind of dead and scratchy. Then you can always take a nice wet brush using clean water, and you can smooth it out that way so your drawing's not ruined. And then, of course, please remember to throw away any dead markers you find and replace them with new ones. So that's a better way to use Crayola markers. All right, next we're going to try out some crayons. So it's always important, if you're doing more advanced coloring, to have like a white with you. and maybe a black with you, and then like whatever colors you're using. And then try to have like similar colors. So like have all your greens together if you're going to use green, or all your different oranges together if you're going to use orange. This will be very helpful for you when trying to add like some texture and depth to your artwork. Now first, this landscape's missing a middle ground again, so I got to get that in there. So maybe this time it's just like a big mountain, kind of like our mountain, and it's just out in the back like that. All right, now I got my middle ground. I got some size happening. I have overlap happening. It's magnificent. So, with crayons, I'm going to show you a little technique called scumbling. So first, always do your fence. That was close. Draw your fence so you stay inside your lines. Very important. And then color in little circles like I've shown you before, but maybe leave some space in there because I can then blend in a similar color. And now it looks more like leaves are happening than just using one flat color. And if I want it to be lighter on one side, I can really go in there with some white and like lighten it up, smooth it out. See how smooth that's getting? And I can go in with black or a really dark green, and I can blend them together on this side. So that's a really good way to make your crayons look even better. And then, similar to how I did my markers, I'm going to do some cross contour lines for this guy. Trying to stay in my lines. And then maybe I use, so that was scarlet, now I'm using like the regular orange color. Cross contour is kind of it's a shading technique where you show off the contours of something. It makes it look more 3D. And then maybe I scumble on this side using this color. And maybe I want it to be super dark on this side, so I use this color. And now it's still orange, but it's a really dark orange. And it just looks better, I'm just saying. And then I have like my path coming in here. So I have a light brown starting out. And maybe I go similar like I did with my markers. And I do like some hatch marks or highlight marks. Get some orange up here. And then maybe I want it to be darker down here. So now I'm blending my colors together. It's almost like painting, but you're using your crayons. And then I can blend it all using my white crayon. Get all those colors together so it looks like it was all done by the same crayon even. So those are some fun different ways to use your crayons. Now we're going to use your guys' favorite colored pencils. These are very similar to crayons. So you will need a white, you will need a black, and then just a variety of the colors that you're using. And then you just get started. Now before I even get started, I can tell right away that I'm already missing a middle ground. So I'm going to get that in back in there. Maybe there's like a type of forest back there. So I'm going to get some jagged zigzag lines in there. And then as I draw, I can fill it in and make it look more foresty. Alright, so with these, it's very similar to what I just showed you. Draw your fence. And yep, I totally stepped away and sharpened my colored pencils before I started. Okay, now that I have my fence drawn, then I can fill it in using scumbling. So that's not scribbling. Stay inside your lines. Only use your fingers to color. Don't use your wrist. Don't use your arm. So I start out with this layer of this light green. And then let's say I want it to be darker towards the bottom because the sun's up here, not down here. So then I can scrub in there some dark green. And as it gets darker still, I can scrub in some black. just underneath that. And I can take my white for the lighter part, and I can scrub that in there too. And you can also use the white to blend everything together. And if you like, because this is like a yellow-green, you can even get some yellow up in there. So that's a good way to use scumbling. And then I'm going to go ahead and use, I want to have some pretty colors for the trunk. So I can go in, cross contour again. Oh my. You curve around the contours of a 3D object. It makes it pop off the page. So purple going in there. Ugh, I don't like it when you guys do that. Stay on one side when you sharpen these things. And then it's really dark down here. So I'm going to make it super dark with my brown. And you can color in these spaces just regular, like it's your fence. So I know that's hard. And then see, this is how you can blend and mix your colors. So if you're stuck with one of those like 12 packs of colored pencils, then you're not really stuck with that. Like you could get lighter pinks. You can get, I'm going to use scumbling for this one. It was a little wild. I don't even know what I'm doing here. This is probably not a great idea. So whatever you're doing, stick with it. If you're doing cross contour, stay with cross contour. If you're doing scumbling, stick with scumbling. So this will look really nice. Who knows what's going to happen here? And then, yeah, so you can make like your pinks darker. You can even blend them with like a red to give more of a value difference. And when it's really dark, you can add some black. And you can blend using your white colored pencil. So this is just some new ways you can use colored pencils to just really take your drawings up a notch.